Currently, chips are designed not only with human but also the Gen AI that we talk about ChatGPT and all these things. Channel, please subscribe this channel and like and share this video for better reach. Now, what is Agentic AI? AI assistants or AI carry out those tasks. Now, how it is different from the Gen AI? It creates based on the user prompts. What it creates? It creates text, it creates video, it creates image, it can create even a whole chip designing process, and at every stage there can be a chip design. That is also something an engineer's responsibility, because what happens creation, chip design creation, or during the placement routing at any stages. Friends, welcome back to the channel. Currently, chips are designed not only with human but also AI in the loop. Now, it's not necessarily a simple or single AI, but it's a set of AI agents that work together to build a chip. This is called Agentic AI. This makes chip designs more efficient, smarter, and also less error prone. Now, in this video, I will talk about what is Agentic AI, how Agentic AI is different from the Gen AI that we talk about ChatGPT and all these things, and how Agentic AI is applied in the chip designing stages. And also I will talk about what is Agentic AI benefit and what is the drawback. And last but not the least, I will talk about the future of chip design with Agentic AI. So stay tuned till the end of the video to know all about this and to participate in this discussion. And also, if you have not subscribed this channel, please subscribe this channel and like and share this video for better reach. Now, what is Agentic AI? Agentic AI is not necessarily a big AI model that does everything in the chip design, but it is a small and set of individual processes. You can call it AI assistants or AI agents. Now, what happens is that each of the AI agents is basically trained on specific tasks and they carry out those tasks. Now, how it is different from the Gen AI? Because we are more acquainted with Gen AI. Gen AI is basically the ChatGPT like things. What Gen AI does is basically it creates based on the user prompts. What it creates? It creates text, it creates video, it creates image, it can create even code also. And it works on a reactive loop. That means user prompts something and based on that command, it creates something as a output. But Gen AI is different here. Gen AI takes decision independently, and it is not a reactive process, it is a proactive process. And it has some specific goal or action to achieve, and it does this action for reaching this goal with independent decision. Now, how Agentic AI is being used in the chip design, that I just want to discuss here. Now, in chip designs, you can assume that Agentic AI is a group of AI agents or group of AI assistants or helpers. One AI is basically does a chip design coding or creation based on the functional specification. Another AI is basically does a verification and error correction. Another AI does a placement and routing. And together they achieve the chip designing process. Now, Agentic AI does not work independently from human. Human needs to be there, and human needs to drive this process throughout the chip designing process. It is something like just like a driver is required who basically takes a steering wheel and drive the whole chip designing process. And at every stage there can be a issue, there can be action that need to be done. So that is required, the human intervention is required. So Agentic AI along with the human in the loop does the chip designing today. Now, what is the benefit of using Agentic AI in the chip designing process? With Agentic AI, designs are created faster and also it can be verified very efficiently. It is less error prone and the data that is obtained during a chip designing process, including the past mistake, that can be reused in the future chips. But there are some challenges also. In agentic AI, it is not something error prone, not necessarily a error prone process. Agentic AI itself requires a human to design the AI agents, and so that AI agents all work for a particular task to happen. That is going to be very difficult task for a human. And engineer need to guide the process throughout the chip design. That is also something an engineer's responsibility, because what happens is that in chip designing, if there is a small mistake happens during the verification process, or during the chip design creation, or during the placement routing at any stages, it requires a full chip respin, and that is very costly affair, not necessarily monetary wise, but also it can increase the chip design cycle in months. So it needs to be tested quite completely before it needs to be relied on for chip design. And another point, most importantly, is that agentic AI requires some public data of the previous chip designing process. So, but what happens is that there is not enough data to feed the agentic AI to take independent decision. That is also a bottleneck or challenge for the agentic AI. Now, with agentic AI, what is the future of chip designing process? In future, it can happen that you just give the functional specification or command to agentic AI to build a particular chip, and agentic AI can take this as a information, and it does the chip coding, it can do verifications, it can do validation, it can even design the chip up to the tip out level. But the catch is that at every stages, if there is any mistake happens, it requires a complete respin. So people do not know when it is going to be relied completely. It can take a few years, it can take 5 years, it can take up to 10 years. I heard that some companies are doing some pilot project with agentic AI, and pilot project can fail as well. So that means that in the full scale production, agentic AI may not be used. So future of agentic AI usage in chip designing is kind of uncertain, but it can also happen that it can help the human designer to concentrate on innovation and creativity rather than doing the routine tasks or repetitive tasks, because there are a lot of repetitive tasks like regression verification, validation, and small tasks, which is a routine work in the chip designing process that can be delegated to the agentic AI. So that can be done in the future of chip designing with agentic AI. So I think these are the most of the things I think regarding the agentic AI. Now let me do a quick recap of what I discussed today. I talked about what is agentic AI and how with the help of agentic AI you can do a smarter chip designing process. How agentic AI is different from the normal generative AI. Generative AI is basically the reactive process. Agentic AI is basically the proactive process. I talked about different chip designing stages from RTL to GDS2, how each of the agentic AI agents can take care of each of the design stages, and they can take the chip designing from RTL to GDS2 phase. I have also talked about what are the benefits of agentic AI usage, and I also talked about what are the drawbacks and limitations of agentic AI. Last but not the least, I also discussed about how the future of chip designing lies with agentic AI. So not necessarily it will take human job, but it will always require human in the process in the loop. But even using agentic AI requires a lot of testing, a lot of validation, and a lot of pilot project to be successful. Now, I think that's it, mostly the part of the discussion. Now, what is your thought regarding that? So if you are an area engineer, or if you are a design engineer, Do you think that Agentic AI is going to be successful and it will help you to do routine work and you actually concentrate on the creativity side of the designing? So what is your opinion regarding that? Please let me know all about this in the comment section of the video. And in the previous comments, you have also mentioned that you have really benefited with this kind of videos, this kind of discussions. So that really helps me to prepare for the future video to make. So please let me know your inputs, your feedback in the comment section of the video. And subscribe this channel if you have not subscribed yet, and like and share this video for better reach. Last but not the least, I would like to mention I have published two books. One is Semiconductor for All, another is the Global Chipware. Both are on the chip designing and semiconductor itself. So I will provide the link in the description section of the video. So if possible, you can purchase this book from Amazon. I think that's it for today. Wait for the next video to come. Till then, Subhasish Chakraborti signing.